Algebra 2 Cram, New York State, Algebra 2 Regents, Common Core, Descriptive Statistics, Question 4, Mean and Population Standard Deviation. Inbox me at memedicine@gmail.com to order your complete study package. Let's delve into the question. Question 4, mean, that is the sample mean denoted by this figure, and it's red, X bar, and the population standard deviation, although population is not written here, denoted by the lowercase Greek letter sigma. The term snowstorms of note applies to all snowfalls over 6 inches. The snowfall amounts for snowstorms of note in Utica, New York over a 4-year period are as follows: 7.1 inches, 9.2 inches, 8.0 inches, 6.1 inches, 14.4 inches, 8.5 inches, 6.1 inches, 6.8 inches. I think you get the gist. What are the mean and population standard deviation for these data listed? Okay, so I think there are 18 data values. Is it going to be answer choice 1, a mean of 9.46, and this is 9.46 inches, with a standard deviation of 3.74. And remember, we're looking for the sample standard deviation, mean, and the population standard deviation, sigma, okay? Is it going to be answer choice 2, answer choice 3, or answer choice 4? Definitely press pause if you need to, and I'll give you a moment to think. All right, so on your in-class exam, whatever exam you're taking, or if you're looking at this for homework review, it would be very time-consuming to calculate these values by hand. So this is not a demonstration of how to calculate the sample mean or the population standard deviation. Rather, it's a demonstration on how to use your graphing calculator to summarize and interpret these data points, or a lengthy list of data points, okay? And we're specifically interpreting data on a one measurement variable. The one measurement variable here being the amount of snowfall in inches. Okay, so there isn't an additional variable amount of rainfall in inches or centimeters. We're only looking at one variable with many data values, specifically 18 data values for this one variable, snowfall measured in inches, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is take out our graphing calculator. Here I'll be demonstrating on the TI-84 Plus model. And after you turn it on, you're going to hit the Stat App button, okay? That's right here. And then this will populate the screen. And then you're going to go ahead and hit the number 1. And when you hit the number 1, this list window will open up. It may be populated, it may not be. If it's populated and you, if list 1 is already populated, you can go right overhead to list 2, or you can just delete all the entries in list 1, okay? Sometimes people delete list 1 by accident. I think I did on my calculator. So I started list 3 and I don't feel like resetting it. So as you can see here, I already went ahead and entered in the first data point, 7.1. Okay, so you hit 7.1, enter, and it will populate list 1. So we're dealing with one variable, so we only need to populate one list, okay? Now I'm getting ready to enter the second data value. So I hit 9.2, and it gives me this. I didn't press enter yet, but when I do, my list will start to fill up. As you can see here, going down. So we're going to do this for each individual data value. There should be 18 in total. This says list 1, value 19 because I'm on the next blank line, but there should be a total of 18 data points, okay? Now I'm going to use the one variable statistics function. So I go ahead and hit the stat app button again, and I hit the, what is this, the right arrow, and it comes over to calc for, the different types of calculations you can do. This isn't a test, it's just a simple calculation. And here, my first option is the one variable stats button, feature, not button. So I'm going to go ahead and hit 1 to select that feature, okay? And we can see that our one variable stats calculator pops up. The list that we're dealing with is list 1 for our one variable of snowfall measured in inches. We don't have a frequency list, so we don't need to worry about that. And so if I hit enter, I come down to the frequency list. We're not going to put anything there. Hit enter once more, and the cursor hovers over calculate, and hit enter again. And what do we have? Our one variable statistics. And just in case you forgot what a statistic is, I'll remind you. A statistic, as are all these listed here. Here goes the sample mean, the summation of all the data values, the summation squared, okay, the population, no, the sample standard deviation, and then last the population standard deviation, and then we have n, the number of data values, which is 18, okay. So, getting back to what I was saying about statistic. A statistic is a calculated value that is descriptive of a sample, all right? A sample being a selected few values from a larger population of values, okay? So that's pretty much that. And the reason why I love using the graphing calculator statistics applications is because you can just simply read the answer off. And be sure that, if you're doing a test or a homework problem where you have to show your work, you can simply write out the steps that you use to do this. And sometimes the test or homework or assignment problem may require that you show formulas. You can, memorize the standard deviation formula or look it up, Google it, okay? So you have to tailor your answer depending on what your instructor wants or what the test maker wants. So always remember that, okay? Just because you give the correct data value for the answer doesn't mean that you're going to get full credit if you don't show the work or do specifically what the test maker asks you to do, okay? So the correct answer choice is obviously going to be answer choice 1, because we see here that our sample mean is 9.45505, and we're told to figure this out to the nearest hundredth. And if you know how to round correctly, you look at the thousandths place after the decimal, and that's 5, so you're going to round up 1. Okay, I think some people are taught to leave the number as is when it's at 5, but no, in this case you have to round up. That's why the mean is 9.46 as opposed to 9.45, okay? And our standard deviation, remember we're looking for the population standard deviation, so we're looking at sigma of x, and that's going to be 3.74. Again, we leave the hundredth place unit as is because we have a number of 3, which is less than 5, so we don't round up, okay? So that's why our correct answer choice is going to be answer choice 1. Now, some people might have incorrectly chosen, let's say, answer choice 2, because what they would have done is selected the sample standard deviation as opposed to the population standard deviation. These are 2 different statistics, hence 2 different calculations. All right, and some people might have also selected answer choice 3 because of rounding errors when reporting the sample mean. Okay? All right, good luck studying.